He killed two brothers on the streets of Biddeford, and now the home that Rory Holland once lived in is being torn down, a relief to those who live in the neighborhood.
Brad Rogers is in Biddeford in that neighborhood. He joins us live tonight with more on our top story. Brad.
Well, Kim and Greg, it's about time how most neighbors feel about this house finally coming down. As you see behind me, the house is gone, and tonight, Holland's victims are remembered. This pile of debris, all that's left of the most hated house in Biddeford.
It's a bad reminder, so I think it would be better off than this to be gone and just let it be, you know what I mean?
A house once owned by one of the most despised men that ever lived here.
He's a bad man.
That bad guy is convicted killer Rory Holland, who 3.5 years ago shot and killed two brothers on the sidewalk in front of his house.
It's a bad memory. Every time I walked by, that's all I could image was those two boys laying in the street.
Irene Yutzy's son Eric was one of the witnesses that night.
I just saw him pull the gun out and just shoot him.
As this house is hauled off piece by piece, Rory Holland sits in prison, serving 2 life sentences for the lives he took. Holland shot Gage Green first, then shot Gage's older brother Derek in the back as he knelt over his brother's body.
I think he's a scumbag, really, you know, like, that there was no need of that happening.
I would like to see him tortured, you know, and die a slow death like, you know, he made them.
The city has plans to extend this park onto this now condemned lot, and perhaps even dedicate it to Holland's victims.
Yes, very good idea, and I think they ought to make a park and have a memorial for Derek and Gage.
Well, Tammy Cole, the mother of the 2 victims, thinks that's a good idea as well. I spoke with her over the phone. She's living in New Hampshire now and told me she wishes she'd known about this today. She says she would have liked to have seen the house come down for herself. Reporting live in Biddeford, Brad Rogers, News 13. Kim, still a lot of bitter feelings here in Biddeford.
Yes, well, that pain runs deep. Thank you, Brad. A teenager from Oxford dies after falling into a pond with thin ice. It happened yesterday afternoon at Chapman Pond, which is off of Northtown Farm Road in Oxford. News 13's Steve Roldan has more on those who are struggling with this loss.
We ice skated on it last year and different stuff like that.
Taylor Moore remembers the memories he has with his friend Joshua Wardwell here at Chapman Pond in Oxford. But today it's overshadowed by the sight of broken ice where his friend Joshua fell through thin ice. It happened Wednesday afternoon as Joshua was checking his beaver traps. State wardens say Joshua's girlfriend was able to call for help, but he was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Friends describe him as being full of life with an adventurous spirit.
But he was always happy, he was never mad, always had a smile on his face. And just loved being around people and his friends.
A teenager with a love for anything outdoors. The 17-year-old was a senior at Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School, well-liked by friends and those at his school.
Yeah, it's a very tough day. Obviously, you feel like you've lost a member of your family, and we feel like we're, we did a moment of silence for our Viking family, and we feel like we've lost a member of our Viking family.
School officials calling in counselors to help students and staff struggling with the loss.
Just like a brother.
Like a brother for Moore, who grew up with Joshua with plenty of memories in a place that both knew and loved. But today, it's a time for reflection.
Just to kind of say goodbye, I guess.
Goodbye to a friend who touched many people in such a short life. In Oxford, Steve Roldan, News 13.
State game wardens want to warn people that the ice is dangerously thin right now throughout most of the area.
Well, the managing owner and CEO of the Portland Pirates, Brian Petrovic, is arrested after police say he was operating under the influence.
It happened early Wednesday morning in Portland, and that's where we find our Catherine Underwood. What are police saying about the case tonight, Catherine?
According to police, the incident happened right outside the Civic Center. They say Brian Petrovic managed to crash his Jeep Wrangler into one of these medians here at the corner of Spring and Center Streets. As you can see, it's about 2 feet tall, not your typical grass road divider, and that's why police say he got stuck. Now, Petrovic was arrested and charged with OUI after they say they found him behind the wheel trying to get his Jeep off the median. Petrovic failed to field sobriety tests and was taken into custody at about 1:15 yesterday morning. The Pirates organization issued a statement on their Facebook page today saying Brian would like the community to know that he made a mistake and hopes that the people reading and watching these news reports learn from his experience and make better choices. He accepts that he made a poor decision and hopes that everyone refrains from drinking and driving during this holiday season. Now, Petrovic posted $500 bail and was out of jail just after he was arrested. We did put in a phone call to him, but we haven't heard back yet. We're live in Portland tonight. Catherine Underwood, News 13. Back to you.
All right, Catherine, thank you. We have an update on a story we first brought you last night at 6. The Maine Mall has hired a new Santa's helper, and he's already on the job. This is Santa's workshop at the mall today. A new jolly old elf is in charge. Parents complained that the previous one was rude and even prevented some kids from sitting on his lap. The mall and the company that hires Santa's helpers stepped in and took action. After briefly shutting things down, the workshop opened back up late this afternoon and good moods have been restored for all. The story of the mismatched mall Santa has now gone viral with close to 10,000 hits on our webpage.
Well, to Capitol Hill now. After almost 2 decades in the Senate, nearly 4 decades of public service, Olympia Snowe is leaving elected office. But before she leaves, Maine Senator Susan Collins is making sure the country knows what an incredible leader she says Snowe has been over the years.
Olympia is a true leader who has always devoted her considerable intellect, energy, and commitment to doing what was right for Maine and for America. She can always be counted on as a leader with integrity who pursued solutions and who had no interest in just scoring partisan political points. It is Olympia's character that has made all that difference.
Senator Collins speaking on the Senate floor today. Senator-elect Angus King will be filling Snowe's seat. He'll be sworn in on Thursday, January 3rd.
Tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from the mother who survived a deadly Orrington house fire that killed her husband and their 3 children. In a letter to the Bangor Daily News, Christine Johnson writes that life is, quote, not a right or a privilege, but a blessing. She goes on to say, you never know how precious life really is until you've lost everything that is important to you. Johnson's husband heard the fire alarm go off early November 10th and was able to save his wife's life by putting her out a window onto the roof. He went back inside for their 3 children. None of them made it out alive. Fire investigators say the fire started because cardboard was stored too close to the downstairs wood stove, which was used to heat the house. If you want to read Christine's entire touching letter, you can find it on our website, WGME.com.
Thoughts and prayers are certainly with her. Well, Lewiston police are busy tonight. They're on the lookout for a man who they say robbed a coffee shop after threatening the clerk there. And tonight, police say they believe they know who the suspect is.
The incident happened just after 8 o'clock last night at the Tim Hortons on Sabata Street. The suspect did manage to get some cash before taking off and leading police on an hour-long foot chase through a neighborhood before running into the woods.
Now, here's a description police are giving out tonight. They say the suspect is a white male, about 5'8" to 5'10", a medium build. He was wearing a dark puffy jacket, jeans, and sneakers at the time. Anybody with information is asked to call Lewiston Police. Well, here's some interesting news. The Portland City Clerk's office is going to be open Saturday, December 29th from 12:01 a.m. to 3:01 a.m. That's midnight to 3 a.m. late Friday night into early Saturday morning. The office will be open for all business, including issuing marriage licenses and performing wedding ceremonies. This will allow for same-sex marriage couples to get their marriage licenses as soon as possible. That is, in fact, the very first day it will be legal in Maine. The clerk's office is inside City Hall. This city says all members of the public in line by 3:01 a.m. will be provided service. Same-sex marriage was passed, of course, by popular vote here in Maine in November.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Charlie DePresti.
Welcome back, everyone. We enjoyed a nice bright sunny day today, and this evening is mainly clear. Today was a pretty nice one. Tomorrow we'll see more clouds on the increase. We're starting to see that to our west. Some of these clouds back into New York. They arrive here late tonight, more so tomorrow morning. By the time you wake up tomorrow, I think it's mainly cloudy. So mostly cloudy day to end out the work week. Remember the cold front that we had yesterday morning that moved through early in the day? That is way offshore. You see it back in here. Our next weather maker is on deck. It's further off to the west, back in here, up into the Great Lakes, heading down through the Midwest. That will be the feature that brings us some rain shower activity tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Some inland towns may be cold enough to support a little bit of sleet or freezing rain. Should be light either way, but just enough to slicken up the roads away from the coastline. Temps tonight are bottoming out, will bottom out in the 20s at the coast, teens inland. Current temp is around the freezing mark here in Portland, same in Augusta, but most towns are slipping into the 20s. It's chilly out there, certainly after what we've been through over the last several days. It's actually been mild earlier in the week, but now the cold air has a firm grip on us. Overnight lows tonight will generally be in the 20s at the coastline. Widespread teens are expected inland. You can't ignore some of those single numbers back through the hills and mountains. That will be late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Now to the details of your forecast. Let's go through Storm Tracker with the clouds rolling in late tonight and tomorrow morning. This is about 7 o'clock in the morning. We're out of the gates with temps in the upper 20s to near 30 degrees. So a chilly start to the day and a mainly cloudy day out there. If your plans take you outdoors, I think we're in pretty good shape. I don't anticipate any showers during the day, but I can't say the same about tomorrow night. This is actually about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice just cloudy skies. Temps are in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Our next weak weather maker, some warmer air tries to punch into the south. I expect some rain showers to approach by late tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. It's about 7:30 tomorrow night. A light wintry mix is possible inland. That mix being some sleet and possibly some freezing rain. So we could see some slippery travel tomorrow night away from the coastline. And it looks like some of this may linger into early Saturday. But notice how the temperature is actually warm to near 40 degrees. This is 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday with some showers lingering. In the mountains, you may see a few spots for some freezing rain trying to hang on. I still think that Sunday's our best portion of the weekend with some sun making an appearance. High temps in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Now, as we go into the extended forecast, our weather pattern stays very, very active. Sunday night into Monday morning, I think we get into a wintry mix. That mix being some snow, sleet, freezing rain, changing to rain with temperatures warming to around 50 degrees on Monday. That is our first system. The next in the series of storm systems should arrive on Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon to Tuesday night. Initially, you know, temperatures may actually be cold enough to support some snow with that one. So snow lovers, the time frame we need to watch will be Tuesday. In the near term, there could be some slippery travel tomorrow night away from the coast. It's an active weather pattern. If you're looking for a full sun or an extended period of sun, I unfortunately do not have that in the 7-day forecast. So there it is. It's an up and down forecast again.
Keep you busy.
Very busy. Always.
All right. Thank you, Charlie.